Hello, so we have this further math question to be solved on the board. I'll read the question. Find the values of cos x and tan x for an angle x in quadrant 2, given that sine x is equal to 3 over 5. Okay, of course, as usual, we use the known to find the unknown. So now, do you still remember quadrant 2? Or there is 2, quadrant 2. Do you still remember? Let's talk about the cast rule. The cast rule. Okay, so according to the cast rule, this is it. Okay, it means that we have CAST. Okay, some people put it this way, or rather some teacher explain to their student like this: all students take cook, but the general form is cast, CAST, cast. Okay, from here to here is 0 to 90. This quadrant is 90 to 180. This quadrant is 180 to 270 degrees, and this one lastly 270 to what, 360 degrees. Okay, so you choose the one that works for you, either cast or all students take cook. Either one is okay. Now the cast rule, looking at what we have, we're talking about quadrant 2. So this is quadrant 2, this is the second quadrant, this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and the fourth quadrant. Now the second quadrant, now here, it means that sine is positive. Okay, every other one is negative. Okay, so katwa. So it means cos is negative, cosine is what? Negative, and tan is negative. Okay, for the second quadrant. So this is where we are going to be what focusing on, because the question says second quadrant, quadrant 2, second quadrant. Okay, now for the second quadrant, sine is positive, cos is negative, and tan is negative. Now let me quickly do a rundown of everything. For the first quadrant, all is positive. It means that sine is positive here, cos is positive here, and tan is positive. Now for the third quadrant, only tan is positive. So if only tan is positive, it means sine is negative here, cos is negative here. Then lastly, the fourth quadrant, only cosine is positive. So it means that sine is negative here and tan is what? Negative on the fourth quadrant. Okay, now that we have the understanding that only sine is positive on the second quadrant, let's solve what we have on the board. Put that at the back of your mind, please. So yeah, let's solve the problem. It said we should find the value of cos x and tan x for an angle x in quadrant 2. Let's start with what we are given. We are given sine x equal to what? 3 over 5. Okay, now let's use the known to find the unknown. So it means we can use the Pythagorean identity to find cos. Yes, we know sine, so we can use Pythagorean identity to find cos. Do you still remember the Pythagorean identity? I'll say it again. So we have sine x squared plus cos squared. Sine squared x plus cos squared x is equal to 1. We have sine x to be what? 3 over 5. So we substitute this here, okay? Or let me find the sine square x. It will be this, right? We have what? 9 over 25, right? Right? So let's substitute this into this. Then we have what? 9 over 25, right? Plus cos squared x is equal to 1. Okay? Now, we want to make cos square x the subject of the formula, what do? We subtract 9 over 25 from both sides. So if we subtract 9 over 25 from both sides, this we cancel out, and then we are left with what? Cos square x is equal to what? 1 minus 9 all over 25. Okay. So this is equal to cos squared x. So if you do LCM, we'll have 25, right? 1 into 25 will give us 25. 25 times 1, we have 25. 25, there's a minus here. Let's bring down the minus. 25 into 25, 1. 1 times 9 will give us what? 9. So if we subtract 25 minus 9, will give us what? 16. So we have 16 over 25. So we have cos square x is equal to 16 all over what? 25. So we want to remove this square. What do? We square root both sides. Okay. I hope you know that square root is the same thing as raised to power half. Okay, let me quickly do the explanation here. Okay, so if this is the same thing as raised to power half and then times 2, okay, this 2 will cancel 2. So it means this will cancel this, and then we'll be left with what? Cos x. Okay, we'll be left with what? Cos x. Square root of 16 will give us, mind you, let me shift this. We'll have plus or minus here. The square root of 16 will give us 4. The square root of 25 will give us what? 5. You know it's plus or minus. So we have two possible solutions, either a plus or minus. But remember, we are talking about the second quadrant. And on the second quadrant, it is only sign that is positive. Only sign is positive. So it means our answer will be what? Cos x will be equal to minus 4 over what? Over 5. So now let's find tan x. We have found cos x to be what? Minus 4 over 5. We can't put plus 4 over 5 because it's second quadrant. On the second quadrant, only sign is positive. So now let's find tan x. How do we find tan x? We are going to be using the ratio identity to find tan x. You still remember the ratio identity? The ratio identity for tangent. So the ratio identity for tangent is simply, let me use a hashtag. It's simply what? Tan x is equal to what? Sin x all over what? Cos x. Okay? I know you'll be wondering why. If you use SOHCAHTOA, sine is equal to what? Opposite over hypotenuse. And cos is equal to what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. Now let's quickly break down this. I'm only trying to prove to you that it's equal to tan x. Opposite over hypotenuse divided by adjacent over hypotenuse. If I swap, okay, if I change this to multiplication, it will swap, right? Then we have hypotenuse over adjacent, right? Okay, so if you, this will cancel this, and then you'll be left with opposite over what? Adjacent. And according to SOHCAHTOA, right, tan theta is equal to what? Opposite over adjacent. So you can see that it's proved. It's proven that tan x is equal to sine x all over cos x. So now that we have that understanding, let's quickly solve. Tan x is equal to sine of x. We have found it to be what? 3 over 5 all over cos x. We have found it to be what? Minus 4 over 5. So let's do this. So we have tan x is equal to 3 over 5. You make sure this is together, divided by what? Minus 4 over 5, right? So if we change this to multiplication, it will swap. On this side, it will swap. So we have times what? Minus 5 over 4, right? Minus, we cancel minus, and then we are left with 3 times minus 1, we have minus 3. 1 times 4, we have 4. Okay, so we have tan x is equal to minus 3 over 4. So we have found our tan x, and we have found our cos x and tan x. So you see that it is negative. Only sign should be negative on the second quadrant. I hope you enjoyed today's problem solving. I'm still Bukola Joseph, the physics enthusiast. Bye.